main head full of dreams. I'm trying to whip up a cold play. I'm the coldest sick with no COVID. Been a born in the city even before cocaine. Independent life. She said she been a wife. Pulling back her hair when she on the knee. She a Mennonite. I'm tripping just spitting when I don't mean no life.
You just heard Not Now, a little snippet of it from Lex. And this is another episode of Off the Beaten Path podcast, episode number 11. I'm Nate, and we got Bobby and fucking Lex. How you doing?
What's going on, guys? How are you guys?
Hey, we're good. I'm good. I can't speak for Bobby, but I'm definitely good.
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Hell yeah. So last time we spoke was like a pregnancy ago, like 9 months. So when we spoke, you are born in Dayton, Ohio, but you moved to LA. How?
So I was born in Dayton. I grew up in Maryland.
Right.
And then I moved out to LA last year.
So how has that been? How has the move been now that you're settled in? Because when we first spoke, you had just moved. So how has it been settling into LA? What's the pros and cons?
Well, okay. Everything was great until COVID hit. And then it shut down. So, like, I live by myself. And when you live by yourself and you can't go out, you get stir crazy. And so I was, like, going nuts. But everything's been cool. I feel like I've definitely gotten to kind of learn myself, especially because being away from family and, you know, having anyone to lean on, it really makes you kind of, you know, that independence is really there. So I just kind of had to suck it up. And I've been good.
Hell yeah. And I could only imagine, like, because I lived by myself for 2 years.
Yeah.
And that was pre-COVID. And I still been a little stir crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
And see, y'all are brave. I've only ever lived by myself for 3 months out of 34 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Living by yourself, it just kind of freaks me out a little bit.
At first it did, but I'm really big on my space. So I haven't had too much issues with that piece. It was just the fact that I couldn't go out and see anybody that was like killing me, because I was like, well, I don't want to FaceTime a bunch of people. I don't really like FaceTiming. I like to see people in person and stuff. And so, but usually, like right now that we can kind of go see people, I'm like a little bit better.
Right. Yeah. Would you consider yourself an introvert?
Yeah. Well, I think I have a balance of both. Because realistically, like I was an only child for a while, so I very much learned how to like keep myself entertained. But at the same time, when I'm in a group of people and I feel like I have to kind of be the binder to make everyone kind of like, I will be an extrovert if I need to. So it's like I balance both. I would prefer to stay inside, but when I do go outside, I can be an extrovert and talk to people and all that kind of stuff. So.
That's what I consider myself. What I say is, I spoke about on this podcast already, but Kendrick Lamar said antisocial extrovert, but I do the opposite. I say I'm a social introvert.
Okay.
Because I would rather be by myself, exactly what you said. I would rather be by myself, but I can speak to anyone,
right.
You know, and I'm a very sociable person. I would just rather be at home chilling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. That's during the quarantine. It was like best of both worlds, because like I don't have to see anyone, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I kind of want to see like one or two people.
Yep. 100%. So since we last spoke, a good bit has happened in 9 months. A good bit has happened. You released an EP.
Released the EP.
How does it feel releasing an EP? Like, just releasing any actual body of work. Like, are you nervous about the feedback? How is that before you're like, okay, it's releasing at 12 o'clock midnight. Here it goes. It's going into the universe. How do you feel before you do that?
Oof. Well, I can definitely say that I'm nervous. You know, I do get nervous about what the response is going to be. Specifically when I was posting this EP though, I was nervous, but I wasn't crazy nervous, because my thing was, this is just like what I put out was 4 or 5 songs.
5.
And my biggest thing was I just want people to have something that they can hear and listen to when they go to my page, but it's not going to necessarily be a representation of who I am. It's just going to be some music that I haven't posted music in over a year. Let me go ahead and give my fans something that they want to hear, or something that things I've just been working on. And so it wasn't like a crazy project where I was like, oh my gosh, like I really hope they like it. It was just kind of like, I'm going to give them some music. They've been waiting for so long. Here it is. And so I wasn't too nervous about it. I was just more so like, they deserve the music, so let me put it out. But usually I do get really nervous. I want to make sure that I'm promoting it correctly, all that kind of stuff. And for my next EP, I'm going to go a little bit deeper into myself, do a little bit more lyricism, more so than I was kind of just trying to make bangers for the other EP. But this one, I want to be a little bit more soulful and speak a little bit more from myself, and let my writing speak for itself, and let it be a focus on the writing and not sonically how it sounds.
Hell yeah. And even I'll say this, on the EP, there's 5 songs. There's 3 bangers. It starts off with 3 bangers, but the next 2 songs, the last 2 songs, are more so exactly what you spoke of with what you want to do. And I spoke to Bobby, before the recording started, of our favorite song from you when we first did the first interview or first episode is Thoughts. And favorite song off of this EP, you have MIA. That's my favorite banger on it. And that's one that's most well received. It has Crypt on it, and it's most well received. But favorite song is 100% Blessed. Like, oh my God, you dive deep into just everything, like moving to LA, and other things that have plagued your mind.
Yep.
So when you released Thoughts, you talked about how it was a hard song for you to speak about, but then it was also hard to put out.
Right.
Blessed, was it kind of the same way of like, do I really want to put this out? Or it was this, nope, I need to get this out and my fans need to hear it?
Yeah, actually, it was the same thing. It was like, I don't know if when I put this out, if people are going to appreciate, especially because I was, with the direction I was taking the EP at the beginning of it, it was very banger, 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 super heavy, hard hitting beats. And then for Blessed, I actually made the beat for Blessed too. And
shit. No, wait, stop real quick. Because I was going to say that's the best beat on the EP.
Really?
You made it?
I made it, yeah.
What did you sample?
I sampled, I don't even remember the name of the song, but I sampled, someone had a loop, and it was the sound, and then I added all the beats, drums, mixed it, mastered it, all that kind of stuff.
Oh my God, you killed it. You killed it, Lex. Okay, I'm sorry to cut you off. Keep going, but
Bless. So Bless was it was definitely a little bit more difficult to put out because I was like, I am talking about a couple of serious things. But honestly, like as deep as that is nowhere near the things that I have written. The things that I have written, because I talk a lot about like my body dysmorphia. I talk a lot about my anxiety, but I think also from a female perspective and from the queer community perspective. And my like talking about dating like straight women or dating men who don't really like, or who like on the surface level they wouldn't date me, but they do like me. And so it's like I talk a lot about all of that, and I haven't even like scratched the surface yet, but I'm scared to do so because number one, I don't know if everyone's going to be able to relate, and then number two, how well is that going to be received? And so I was thinking this is like a middle point where it's like I can get this deep and put it out, and then like I'll just keep like chipping away at the ice, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna put a little bit out, see what people think. Okay, now let me go a little bit deeper. All right, now let me go a little bit deeper and see how deep I can go with it. But Thoughts was it was mid, but it was still something that was like I am a little bit scared how this is gonna get received.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And we both said before, we're glad that you actually put thoughts out, and I'm glad that you put blessed out. And honestly, not to give advice or anything, but dive deep into it. In
Yeah.
my opinion, dive deep into it, because if it's well received or if it's not, there's definitely going to be people out there that 100% say, this has been my mindset all along, and I didn't know how to tell anyone, and
Right.
she just said it perfectly for me.
Right.
Because the way you put words together, it's it it's like, I don't know, you listen to art and you listen to music, and you're like, man, I've been feeling this way the whole time, and had no clue how to say it,
Yeah.
and felt like I would sound crazy if I said it. But then
Right.
one of my favorite artists puts it out, and boom, this is how I felt this whole time.
Exactly. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And I appreciate you. Definitely put it out into the atmosphere, in my opinion, because your pen skills are crazy, and it sounds like you've been through a good bit, and I feel like I feel like other people are gonna be able to relate easily.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna continue to post more of that stuff. I also feel like right now I'm like, I don't have that many, like, I'm a little still too small to be posting like things where I'm really going deep, because I'm like, oh, like the people in my real life, they're gonna be like, oh my
Mm,
gosh, like you actually go through that, and like
mm,
like, it's weird when it's not weird, but it's like a little bit more, it's a lot more vulnerable when you don't have too many people listening to your music. It's because it's so intimate in that sense. And so once I have a little bit more fans, I feel a little bit more comfortable, because I know that there has to be somebody who, feels the same way as me. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah.
And for me, one thing that's always drawn me to like vulnerable music, because I love that song. I listened to the EP again this morning, and the bangers. It's like, holy shit! Like she can spit bars. But I was like, man, like she's like, I've seen you grow so much as an artist with your technical ability, your speed, the way you can weave your way around a beat and just kind of dance with the beat with your vocals.
Yep. Thank you.
But not coming from again a place of like really having listened to much hip hop in my life, other than what Nate kind of filters to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've seen you grow as a hip hop artist, not even really understanding the culture fully. But when you went in on Blessed, like even though I don't have the same shared experiences, I can still draw parallels, and it's still therapy for people that might not even have the same experience.
Right. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. Well, yeah, I appreciate you too. I hope to. That's the thing too. I don't know if I should make my music too broad where everyone can listen to it, or if I should just be as unique and specific to my situation, and then the people who do, who can draw parallels from it will. You know what I mean? So.
No, it's even like I am a huge XXX fan.
Okay.
Huge. And I watched all his interviews, and when he died, that was the first famous person that died that actually fucked me up. I was like, fuck, man, he's dead. And I was listening to one of his interviews, and he says, I make depressed music. If you don't deal with depression, then it's probably not for you. But
Right.
then Ritz just came out with an album on Friday, Picture Perfect, and he goes through a whole verse just naming different rappers and how it, molded him into the rapper that he is. And one of the lines he says is, when I listen to XXX, it doesn't make me depressed. And I'm the same way. Like, even though you may not be able to relate to someone 100%, you still feel, you're like, okay, though I don't relate, I still feel it, like, or maybe I've been through something similar, not the same exact pain that you've been through, but I've been through something similar. So,
And I think also it plays like a huge part is the storytelling aspect. And X was really good at storytelling. He made a song sound like a story and make it sound really good.
hmm
And so that's something that I'm trying to work on. And so, yeah, it's like, even if you can't understand what I'm talking about, or you don't feel, you don't have the empathy for it because you haven't been through it, you'll still like the story itself. And so I think that's what's super important. I think that's something that X did very well.
Very well. And just saying that, the reason I brought that up, and I'm glad that you spoke on it deeper, is even if people don't relate, even if I feel you're a great person. It's easy to see that. So even if you help one person, like that one person might have been ready to jump off of the cliff, and they listen to your song because they're a fan of you. It's like, fuck. There is someone else that feels the same exact way that I feel.
Yep.
You know, and I'm glad we dived deep into that. And I talked about your pen game a little bit, so let's brighten the mood up a little bit.
All right, cool. Let's do it.
The cypher.
Yes.
The specific one I'm talking about is a Cookout Cypher.
Yes.
So, first of all, you killed it, and you did a bar breakdown.
I did.
And I missed a lot of bars, obviously, because when you did the bar breakdown, I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
That's not a double entendre. That's a triple entendre. Like,
infinite entendre. Those entendres just keep fucking going.
It's like it makes no sense when you sit down to write lyrics. How much do you think about? Okay, let me just speak my bullshit. And how much do you think about? And how does a double entendre even come up? Because I'm a rap connoisseur, and like I listen to Lil Wayne, and I'm like, how the fuck did he come up with that?
Yeah, right.
I've heard this song 8 times, and on the 9th time, I just now caught this bar. Like, how do you do that? How can you express to people who don't do music and don't do rap? How do you express to them? Okay, I think about this, and I'm like, oh, whoa, I can flip it this way, and it can mean one or two things. Yeah.
So I'll say, I mean, I think that I can say, so half of it would be skill. I've been doing this for 13 years. Half of it would be talent. I do think I just have an ear for it. And then, but like, just like simple practices, it's just homophones. Like homophones and focusing on what words sound like other words. You know what I mean? And what word can I drag out to make it have 2 words in it? Like, I think I have a line in one of my songs that I haven't released yet, but I think I said something like, then I gotta go, oh shoot, let me think about it. I gotta show them that ibuprofen finish the show, then I gotta go pop me a painkiller. So I said ibuprofen, but I gotta show them the ibupro, finish show, then I gotta go pop me a painkiller. And so like what I try to do is just find words that sound like other words, find words that it's all really just about studying and reading and making sure that you're like you have a good vocabulary. The bigger your vocabulary, and like every day talking, my vocabulary is not huge, but when I'm sitting down to focus, that's when I feel like my vocabulary broadens and I remember things. I think also, like, I kid you not, having a great memory has really helped with writing doubles, because I'll think of a line and then I'll realize, I'll figure out something in the past, or like a movie I might have watched, or a TV show. A lot of times it's video games, and I'll find a way to relate that. And so I'm like, all right, think of the line. I'm like, all right, bet. Now how can I tie that into this movie that I saw 2 years ago? You know what I mean? Like, so it's all about memory. It's all about like wordplay and just trying to figure out. And it's also just practice, you know? You got to write. I don't write as much as I should. Like, you would think that I write every day. Unfortunately, I don't. I try to, but I'm such a perfectionist that if I don't feel like I'm going to write a great bar, I'm just like, I'm not going to do it. And it's not something that I wish on anyone. Everybody should make sure they're, if you're trying to be an artist, make sure you're writing every day. But yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. And that's I think that's a great way to put it, because I mean, it was just the truth, you know, and maybe someone's gonna watch this that is an artist and it's like, okay, well, that's what I need to do, you know, because just even like bar setups, you say, and from here I can see you are B. So I can see you're a bitch.
Yeah.
Okay. And from here I can see you are B, like I'm spelling out what you'll hit.
Yep.
CURB curb. You know,
Yep.
like just simple shit like that. Like, and I'm pretty sure that's a song with Futuristic,
Yeah.
Crypt, and one other person. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting them.
Definitely.
Okay, yep. Um, how did you get on that verse? Like, did Futuristic hit you up directly and was like, hey, let's do a verse together. I'm doing a remix of this.
No, I won a contest. Like
Mm,
I won a contest. So he's been doing contests for people to be on the album. So he did the Kool AF one with and then Samad Savage won, but he actually
right.
didn't. They ended up doing their own song separate of it. And so I hadn't done a Friday Fire in a minute. I was like, my fans need to hear something, and there's a competition. Let me just all in one it, like kill two birds with one stone, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a Friday Fire. That's why it was so long. I think I had the longest verse on there because regardless of everything, I still wanted to make sure I was putting out something for my fans.
Right.
And once I put it out, the voting I think was ended the next week, and they were like, "You won." I was like, "Cool." And then I sent them my stems, and we got on the song.
You killed it. You killed it. Y'all all killed it, and that's why I like is like, I feel like you never. What am I trying to say? You never like overshadow someone. It's never like, oh, Lex had the best verse. I feel like you honestly bring out the best in everyone,
Okay.
and it's like, I feel like if you send someone a verse, they're like, damn it, man, I gotta rewrite my verse.
That
You
happens a
know?
lot. Yeah.
And
That
like,
happens a lot.
so I feel like rap is a competitive sport. You know, it's
It is.
competitive, but I feel like you're not trying to just shit on everyone. You're
Right.
trying to bring out the best in everyone.
Right.
And
And you actually brought up a great point. And I don't even know if we're going to talk about this in the later in the interview, but essentially, like rap is a competition. It's a sport, right?
mhm.
However, like this is where a lot of people are like, well, why don't you diss people? Why don't you do this? Blah 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 blah. What do you think about other female rappers, right?
Mhm.
And like rap is a sport of who is better. And so when people ask me about female rappers, they're not asking me in the sense of who's better. They're asking me because of the things that they talk about and the fact that they can't relate to it. And so I'm like, that's why I was like, when people call me a female rapper, I don't necessarily love it because I'm like, I can body half of these dudes out here. Why are you still
Oh
considering
yeah.
me a female rapper? Or they're like, oh, you're my favorite female rapper. Well, so you have a whole list of rappers, and then underneath you have a list of favorite female rappers.
Mm,
Like, and so when people talk about, oh, you're better than this girl or this girl, why? Don't tell me because I don't rap about my vagina. Tell me
mhm.
because you think that my bars are sonically they sound better. I have more bars or there's more to break down and unpack. And so I think it's great to say that, yeah, rap is a competitive sport, but it shouldn't be like I shouldn't have to compete with other female rappers just because we're all women. Put me in a tier with other female rappers who are on my level sonically and men that are on my level sonically and everyone. And then that would be a competition. And then I'd be willing to diss and do, battle rap and all that kind of stuff. But right now you just want me to diss this female rapper because she raps about her vagina. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
So,
And that's one
So
thing I wanted to bring up because that was the most memorable thing for me from the last time we had you on was being categorized as a female rapper and not just a rapper.
right.
With the progress that you've made in growing your audience and releasing new music, being featured on some really big shit that we're going to talk about a little bit later. Have you seen a growth in people's perspective and just respecting you as a rapper with ability and not just a female rapper?
Definitely. I think too, like having just conversations with my fans and letting them know, like on a personal level, how I feel about it. I've had a lot of my fans turn around and like they've changed the way that they address me now. And they also will like defend me in comments and all that kind of stuff. And so it's like, I'm trying to build me my little like Stan army.
hell yeah.
And they've received that well. I think also because I've come about it in a very like, this is like, I think I don't I don't say it in a disrespectful way. And I know that people don't mean harm when they say it. And when they call me a female rapper, they're not saying it because they're trying to harm me. Some people are. Some people are like, I want to call you a female rapper because you're better than me. And I don't like that. And so I'm going to still make sure that we're not in the same, you know, category. And, but for the most part, people have accepted that I still get called a female rapper, and I'm okay with it. Like, I'm starting to get a little bit better with it because I don't really care what you call me. Like, just put me on a song and you'll see. Because the other thing too is I don't just rap. I sing too. Maybe not the best, but I do sing. I write. I make beats. So it's like, you can call me what you want, but are you going to listen to the song that I'm on? That's what I'm more concerned about, you know?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And in speaking of female rappers, most of the cyphers you've been in, I could be wrong, but I don't know if I've ever heard another female in the cypher. So in a male-dominated field, and especially just or specifically talking about the cyphers, would you wish that there are more females in the cyphers?
Absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. I think that hip-hop is global now, right? And so, and everybody is looking for representation. And so when you get a cypher and you get a bunch of people, like there are some times when I'm listening to a cypher and I'm like, I don't really care for his verse, but that's maybe just because I don't relate to it. And then there's other people who I'm like, yo, you know, I really, really, really relate to this. You know, this is great. You know what I mean? And so it's like, we need to have more personalities and more perspectives on cyphers, especially because like I hear the same things from a lot of male rappers.
Exactly, yeah.
And so I'm like, well, let me hear, because like if y'all ever heard the Nicki Minaj cypher back in the day, it was like 2011 BET. She destroys the cypher because she adds a whole new perspective. Like sonically, she kills it. Lyrically, she kills it. Like I think the next person who was really near her lyrically was Joe Budden. But like, I'm like, if y'all would do that more often, so like more people would watch cyphers, more people would really start getting into actual lyricism again. Like, you know what I mean? But people don't want to do that because they want to keep it the same thing. That's why the XXL freshman list and keeps just going down. Like, even though they added Chica, which I appreciated. They added another, I think, Mulatto, I believe.
That's my bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, though I think they added a new perspective. I won't say like I loved it or hated it or either of their verses, but they added a new perspective that I'm sure other people really appreciated.
Right. Yeah. Even speaking on that, to go a little deeper in it, have you ever thought about doing like because you've got a pretty good fan base. Have you ever thought about actually doing a all female cypher, or is that like, no, that's off the limits, that's stupid, it doesn't make sense?
No, first of all, no idea is ever stupid. I don't believe in that. I think that everyone has great ideas. You know, when artists come to me with songs and it's like, I don't know if I can fit on that song, it's not because I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's just, I just don't think that I fit on the song, you know?
Right.
But as far as like doing an all-female cypher, I would definitely do that. But I would like to get heavy hitters on it too. I unfortunately, like I know a couple of female rappers that I would love to get on, like Galaxy Star, Carly X, but I will also have a couple people too that I would want to get on that are a little bit bigger, like Snow the Product and Lady Lynch and Janata. Like, so I want to grow my fan base bigger first. Once I feel like I can put heavy hitters on it, I will absolutely do a couple, like just make it a whole series and do a female cypher. And I know that we would kill it because the female rappers that I'm choosing lyrically are incredible. And so it's definitely something that I would do. I just don't think I'll do it right now because I don't think my fan base is big enough to support that and push that to the level that I would want to get it to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I feel that 100%. And damn, I don't know what I was about to say about cyphers. There was one more thing before I want to move on, but I might come back to it. But I'm gonna call you, as of right now, the queen of features.
Okay, I'll
The
take that.
queen of feature. You got Postcard, you got Markham's, you got Crypt,
Yep.
you have all these features, and it reminds me, honestly, you're not on the radio, might never, probably will never be on the radio unless you get that feature from fucking one of the top hitters. And when I say top hitters, I don't mean people like fucking Tech Nine. I mean like a 2 Chainz or some shit
Right.
like that.
Right.
And I said, probably, no, fuck it. You might be on the radio one day, but it's like Lil Wayne in the mid 2000s. You couldn't turn on the radio without hearing him.
Right.
So, 2 things I want to touch on is one, YouTube rappers. How do you feel about that term, period? Like a YouTube rapper. First of all, would you consider yourself a YouTube rapper? And second of all, how do you feel about that term in general?
I feel that the term, I'm going to start with the second one first. I feel like the term itself was created by people who are like, I think people who are, it started with people who were angry that YouTube rappers are finding a new way to put their music out and it's working for them, because you have a bunch of people you got a bunch of SoundCloud rappers who've been trying to put music out. They don't really have a fan base. So you see the YouTube community starting to have rappers and all that kind of stuff. And you get people, oh, well, they're just YouTube rappers with the just in front of it. And then I have people like Crypt who have taken that and taken it and reclaimed it and said, yeah, I'm a YouTube rapper. And what? And I'm making bank. So the whole idea of calling me a YouTube rapper, I don't really care. I did a YouTube cypher, and so I think that was when I got the name. But I don't make YouTube videos. I don't do reactions. I don't do any of that stuff. And so I'm not really a YouTuber, but I have used YouTube as my platform in order to get people to listen to my stuff. But also, you would then call me an Instagram rapper because most of my fan base is on Instagram.
Right.
And they've found me through my free verses and through people, finding me on, people's stories or whatever. Like, you would also have to call Hopsin a YouTube rapper. You would have to call Oaken a YouTube rapper.
Yeah.
All these Dax, you have to call all of them YouTube rappers. But they won't. They're only going to call the maybe kind of smaller people, YouTube rappers, or anyone who really uses the platform who isn't, doing major tours and all that kind of stuff right now. So I don't care. You can call me what you want. Once again, it goes back to that label thing. People are going to put labels on other things so that they can categorize them and put them in a box and hope that they don't leave that box. But once I leave that box, and I'm not saying like I'll leave YouTube, I'm just saying once I leave the box of whatever label they put on, what are they going to then label me after that, So I think that it's just all like subjective. It's subject to change specifically, like, either way. I'm still a rapper. I'm still putting out music. I'm using the YouTube platform to put out my music. And if I'm a YouTube rapper for that, then cool. I'm down for that.
Yeah, I love that. And it's a weird thing with social medias where people that have never had a voice now feel like they can name things, but they don't really have authority, or not authority, but credibility to name it. So you just get these weird like subgenres of everything. And it's just kind of ridiculous. Just where they take it and why they take it. It's like, okay, like she raps, she's on YouTube. Who gives a fuck? Like, you enjoy it. Do you enjoy it or do you not like it? Like,
exactly.
Or move on.
Right, you're focusing. Did you catch that bar? Why are you focusing on what I'm called?
Right.
Yeah, it's really stupid. The SoundCloud rap had the same thing because you think of SoundCloud rap, you think of mumble rappers. You think of YouTube rap or YouTube rappers. Most times YouTube rappers, in my mind, is someone who spits really fast.
Yep.
They're choppers.
Yep.
And they also might do a vlog here and there. They might fucking do a reaction video here and there. And it's putting you in the box. But, yeah, I like the way Crypt did it. And as you said, like, okay, he fucking 8 Mile that shit. Like, yeah, bitch, I'm a YouTube rapper. What are you gonna do about it?
Exactly. And actually, that's the one thing I would say that I am trying to get away from is the fast rap, because I don't just do fast rap. But when I do one fast rap, people are like, oh, she's a fast rapper. Like, oh, she sounds the same. She's not saying anything, blah, blah, blah. Don't even listen to the words, because I don't put anything out that is filler. All of my rhymes are bars. And so even when I'm spitting super fast, it's a bar. But people will hear the fast spit and they're like, oh, man, she's a fast spitter. She's not a good spitter. She can't write bars. And then so that's what I've been trying to get away from. So like on Fast Lane, I let them do the fast rapping, and I stayed very much with the same kind of slower cadence, slower verse, so that I could be like that refreshing kind of middle end, like the middle ground where it's like, okay, superhero fast one, that's Merkham's, okay, a little bit slow, I can hear the bars. Going back to Crypt, he's doing a little bit faster. Like, I do want to kind of be able to be as versatile and not just be considered a fast rapper. But once again, they're going to label it regardless. If I do one verse that was fast one time, I'm a fast rapper. And I'm going to turn off probably, 1,000 fans from listening, because they're like, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear slow stuff. So, yeah, it goes back and forth.
Yeah. And, like we spoke about earlier, it's like a lot of people know you from the Crypt Cypher,
right,
the first one, and Tech Nine shouting you out and shit. And it's like, those are two fast rappers, so, and they heard you fast rapping off of that, so they put you in the box. But I can see that you're making a conscious effort of, y'all put me in the box, and I'm just going to show y'all that I can get out of this box.
Exactly.
Even the song with Postcard, you're singing, and then you rap a little bit, and then you sing a little bit more, and it's like, yeah, I can do this shit, I respect that, because Bobby and I spoke about this on the previous episode with T-Dub. It's like, being put in a box can be such a bad thing.
Right.
But if you don't allow them to put you in the box, and when I say them, I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm saying it as in your community that supports you. If you don't allow them to put you in the box, hey, it may not be for you. You might have came for me being a chopper,
right,
and this may not be for you, but it's gonna be for 1,000 other people.
Exactly.
And that's why I like Thanks for Waiting EP so much, is because straight bars, straight bangers for the first 3 songs, and then the last 2 songs, it's like, no, I'm gonna show you, I can do this shit.
Right.
This is me. And
exactly.
It's not only fucking da, 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 da. No. I can put together a fucking song and craft it perfectly.
Thank you.
And I remember what I wanted to ask is Crypt. I don't know how many people were on that Cookout Cypher. It was like 14 or 15 people. It was a lot of people.
It was like 17.
17.
Yeah.
And Crypt said you had the best verse. When you heard that, I don't know if you got tagged in it. I don't know if you were watching the episode. How did that make you feel when he was like, the way she was doing her voice and the cadences, she found that pocket. How did that feel when you first heard that?
It felt good.
Heard him say it.
Actually, so I was watching the video myself, because I'm a Crypt fan, you know what I mean? Regardless of, we are friends and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Support, and I still want to, watch his videos and all that kind of stuff, especially when I can. And yeah, when he said that, like, I was a little bit nervous. I was like, okay, they're going over their favorites. Joey Nato picked, I don't remember who he picked, but Crypt was like, my favorite was Lex, and I was super happy. I was super excited. Especially because, like, when I was in the studio, like, you have to understand, when I was writing it, I was so nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want my verse to not be heard.
Right.
Like, I was like, because I am a female rapper, so just off of that, people are going to skip my verse regardless. And 2, like, I really want to show people that I can body anybody. And so, like, when I heard it, or when I was in the studio and recording it, there are people behind me, like, listening to me record, and I'm nervous. And there's people like Futuristic, and Futuristic is like, I can't say I grew up listening to him, but when I was like 16, 17, there were a couple songs that I heard of his that were like amazing. And I actually hit him up back in like 2017, and I was like, man, I want to do a song with you, like, you know what I mean? And they were in the room, you know, Crypt's in the room, all these people, and I
Oh
was
shit.
nervous. And so the fact that I was able to overcome that nervousness and come out with a hard ass and put semi quickly, I don't think I was like the quickest. I definitely had to, but and I really remember all of the time and effort that I put into like perfecting it in the studio, especially because there's so many people around me, that it was nice to know that like my hard work had paid off, at least to one person, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about my cadences and my flow switches, because I thought about that stuff very much so. When I'm sitting out there practicing it, I'm thinking, how do I want to say this? How do I want to go about this? And I'm literally like, I write it in my notes. Okay, for this one, I want you to go a little bit higher pitched voice, maybe do, you know, go a little bit like grimier, you know what I mean?
Right.
Now, but I need water, but be a little bit grimier with it. And like, so the fact that I had thought about that stuff, crafted it, and then it was well received is great to me.
That's crazy, because honestly, when I think about these ciphers, I think about 17 people, different parts of America, and they write their verse, they do it, they send it off to Crypt. But
Mm-hmm.
you actually had Crypt, Futuristic,
Yep.
and all these big ass rappers
Yep.
in the studio at one time.
Yep.
Oh my god,
Yep. We were
that
all
makes it.
we made the beat the night before, sent it out in the morning, and then once the beat was done, everyone started writing as we're on our way to the damn studio.
Holy
So,
shit.
yeah, so like we all wrote that night. Unless some people might have had a verse like that they were kind of just holding on.
Right.
But me, I wrote that entire verse from scratch. The night that Samad Savage was making the beat, and into the morning when we needed to go actually record it. And then we were all, it was like probably 30 of us standing outside in the heat. And I'm not gonna say where we were at, but in the country,
Right.
I would say
Right.
Or in the
bugs,
sticks.
big ass bugs, and like just all rapping it to each other. Koofy's rapping his to me, Samad Savage and I over here kind of, you know, rapping it to each other, Merkham's, all that. And then we had to go in the studio, and it was a crazy experience. And it was like, if that's what being a rapper is, I would do that every day.
That's crazy. And I feel like that's what being a rapper used to be.
Yeah.
But now in this digital age, it's okay, I'm gonna record my verse, I'm gonna send the stems over, and they're gonna get their verse on there. They're gonna have their mixing engineer piece
Right.
it together. They're gonna mix and master it, and that's it. And it's not that personal connection. But the fact that y'all actually did that Cookout Cypher,
Yep.
shout out to Samad Savage, shout out to Futuristic, shout out to Crypt, shout out to everyone else that was on there, shout out to Mama Crypt. That is fucking amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like a cookout. It
Yeah.
sounds like
We got Mama Crip's wings, so fire. That was that night, like, so we were at the studio from like 10 a.m. or like 10 or 10:30ish to, I left around 6. I think the rest of them left around, or I think Crypt got home at like 8 or 9. And we hadn't eaten all day. We were all starving. I didn't eat. I think I ate a little bit of breakfast. I didn't eat a huge breakfast though. And then boom, we got to home. We got to eat Mama Crip's wings, and it was fire.
man.
It was perfect. What a good day.
And sonically, what are you listening to right now that's informing the decisions that you make with your music?
Ooh, great question. So I didn't really know who Merkham's was. So I actually really started listening to Merkham's, even though we now have a song. I love his new EP he just dropped. I listened to all of it last night. Sonically, rapper-wise, I mean, I listen to really anything that's new and popular. So like the 21 Savage album just dropped.
Woo!
Yeah, fire.
That's top 5 album of the year in my
Really?
opinion.
Yes. It's a great album, and I
Yeah.
think he killed it. I'm really glad that they worked together again, because they're a superstar group.
And they got fucking Morgan Freeman.
Yeah,
Never
dude.
talking about fucking rats and snitches. Like,
Oh,
keep going. I'm sorry, I got excited.
I listen to a lot of Moneybagg Yo. I think that he, although I don't necessarily relate to a lot of his music, his bars are actually there. Like I listen to a lot of mainstream music just to kind of hear how hip hop is going, so that I continuously I want to evolve with hip hop. I don't want to stay in the past. And so and with Moneybagg Yo, he's very good at being relevant and keeping his bars easy enough that people can hear him. He might not have a bunch of doubles, but he sounds really good when he says things. And rapping isn't all about double and triple entendres, you know?
Right.
Rapping's about expressing yourself, and do people, feel the same way, or can people relate to your music? And so I guess who else? Rap-wise, I'd have to look at my phone, but well, I've been listening to a lot of the new Disclosure album just dropped, and it has Amine on it and Slow Tie on it, which two artists that I also am just started.
Same.
Yeah, I'm really big. I love Disclosure. That's probably the one thing that I can consistently listen to every day.
And you said Disclosure. Is that an artist?
Disclosure is it's a group. You ever heard that song Latch by what's his name? Sam Smith?
No.
Okay.
No,
well,
you're about to put me on some game.
Yeah, well, Disclosure is a house group from
Okay.
the UK, and they're amazing. I only really listen to house music. I listen to alternative pop. So another artist that I'm listening to is it's a group, and their name is oh shoot, now I'm blanking on it, and it's my favorite group. Men I Trust. Men I Trust.
Okay.
They're very very soulful, soulful pop. It's really weird.
No, I fucks with them. I
Yeah.
fucks with Men I Trust.
Yeah, you know them. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, I fucks with them, but Disclosure, I have no clue about.
Yeah, no, definitely check out. If you like house music, check out Disclosure.
Bet.
And then another person, Man I Trust, Crayon and Dune. They're both French artists, but they just came out with an album together called 150 Roses. I actually bought the vinyl for it. I'm really excited about it. And they kind of do a little bit neo soul funk, a huge, I love that sound. I really love instruments and instrumentation.
Right.
I want to be able to work with a live band one day. But you wouldn't think so, because my stuff is very hard. But realistically, when I was growing up, I was listening to R&B and super soft music. But rap-wise, I listened to hard music like Hobson and Tech Nine and M, and talking about, grungy stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's I'm really happy about that, because I will be able to totally, I kind of want to be like Tyler, the Creator, with my with my growth. Because he started out really grungy and stuff, and then now
he has Igor.
Yeah, Igor, that to me is absolute artist development, and that's the type of artist development that I want for myself. So I'm super excited about that.
Look, I hear it. I already hear it, because again, thanks for waiting, EP. You have the 3 bangers, and then you fucking produce Blessed.
Yeah.
And that is a song I'm that's what I wanted to ask. Who the fuck produced this beat? Because this beat is disgusting. Whoever did it, they shitted on it. And then she put her lyrics over it, and it just spoke to you in a way that made you feel, even if you didn't relate, it just made you feel damn.
Yeah.
I haven't been through that shit. I haven't been through it. But it sucks. It's like Kevin Hart, Laugh at My Pain. It's
Right.
I haven't been through that shit, but as much as it sucks to say, it's good to know that other people are going through other shit.
Right.
Because I feel like I'm alone in my struggle, and it sucks, but it's damn, I'm glad she put that out, because I know that even though I don't feel it, I'm not alone.
Exactly.
We're all struggling together.
That's it.
We're all
Yeah, and then sonically, that transition from MIA to Like That, with that guitar part that came in, I was like,
Yeah.
damn, okay, where's this thing going?
Right.
Yeah, that was really cool, because MIA, you really show your ass on your skill and, again, the fast rap, but then you bring it way down, really quick. It wasn't in transition. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, some people were I think what's his name? Gatsby was he listening to Like That, and he was well, I'm waiting for Lex to come in. And I was like, no, that was me singing the whole time.
I did
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I went to it and I was like, who's the feature on this? I was
Yeah.
like, wait, there's no feature?
Yep.
um, as we're wrapping up, I honestly only got about 2 or 3 more questions. Really, I have like 1,000 to be 100% honest. But as we're wrapping up, I watched the Instagram live last night, and
I was smacked.
you you didn't mention his name, and I'm not gonna mention it now because there's still shit in the air. But he did a chicks tape.
Oh yes.
Okay, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I love his chicks tapes because he does old school shit.
Yes.
You said that you have an idea to do like early 2000s shit, like
Early 2000s rock.
rock. Like,
Yes.
what are we talking about? Are we talking about like Stained and fucking?
We're talking about like some Flyleaf. We're talking about Prodigy. We're talking about like early Slipknot. Like
Right.
I wanna take. If you've ever heard the song "Psycho" by Ski Master Slump God, he takes "Psychosocial" by Slipknot, and he essentially like makes it to a trap beat and destroys it. And I want to do the
Right.
same thing, but do an entire EP of it, and an EP of early music that I grew up listening to, rock music, and just make it hip hop and like show that you can intertwine the two, because you absolutely can. And
Yeah.
I've heard people do it before, but this is something I'm like, I really want to do this. I didn't even want to say the idea, but I'm glad we did, because I do want to put it out. And I've been looking for a producer really to work with, because I feel like I can make beats, like we're blessed, but I want some heavy hitting type beats for this one, because I want it to be almost metal. I want to get a couple screamer, I think that's what you call them, screamer.
Yeah, screamers. Yeah, I'm in the
And,
metal band. They're screamers.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, so definitely, and then well, I have to hit you up for it then too.
Hey, I'll say this right now, and this is not just because he's in our band. I'll definitely say that our vocalist is one of the best local vocalists in Georgia, in my opinion.
Okay.
So if you want to hit me and be like, "Hey, I would like your vocalist on the chorus," or
Yeah.
he's good. He's good.
All right. Cool.
That would be beautiful.
I'll let you know when I kind of get this idea off the ground, but definitely.
Yeah, and if you hit me, that's amazing. I'll hit him. I know he would be more than willing to do it, because he's more into metal, but he also dives into, like, I wouldn't say rap, but I would say like the little peep shit. But
Okay.
he would be more than willing to do it. If you
Yeah.
hit me, awesome. If not, hey, you found other people, and that's perfectly fine. But if you hit me, I promise you, he would be more than willing to fucking send you some stems of, this is what I got. If
I'm
he
down
fucks
for
with it.
I'm down.
Yes. That would be beautiful. Because he's a great screamer. Like, he's fucking great.
All right, cool. Well,
Hell yeah.
I might have to get this going.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
I was gonna say, on the musician front, we actually have a friend from our area who's a damn good guitarist. He also owns a studio out in LA. So, yeah, when it's time, just let us know. I'll send him a message and see what he can do.
You talking about Daniel Gailey?
Yeah,
That's that dude. I'm telling you, guitars.
He's bad.
He's got you. He's got you. Something else I want to mention before we get off. This is just not really about you so much, but also on your Instagram live, you mentioned one of your favorite rappers right now is JID. Jid.
Yeah.
Have you listened or heard to the Spillage Village album?
I haven't gotten the time to sit down and listen to it, just because I had a couple things that I really had to take care of over the last month. And when I do, like, I will show you guys, but like with JID albums, I actually I analyze them. So I have a folder in my notes called Artists to Analyze, and I go over a bunch of different artists. And so I've done The Never Story, and I did DiCaprio too. And I just, song by song, I listen to it and I analyze it. I try to find words and things that like make this song so good, and I haven't had the time to do that. And so when I do, I'm going to do the Spillage Village, but I'm excited for it though, because I love Earth Gang and all them.
Oh,
And I think what's her name? Mariba.
Mariba.
Too amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to. I'm sure you've heard things here and there. I'm not gonna give you any preconceived notions and be like, "It's the best album of the year," and then you're like, "Damn it, this didn't live up to what they just said." I'm not gonna put anything out there, but yeah, when you find that time, that's fucking beautiful. People don't do that. People don't do that anymore.
No,
you know, like
people don't do that. And I come from a perspective of just from an artist. I come from as many perspectives as I can, but as an artist listening to it, as a fan listening to it, and as someone who is trying to make like music sound good, like from a sonically, how does it sound? Because there are songs where somebody is not talking about anything, but it sounds so good.
Yeah.
The replay value is crazy, and so I try to hit it from all three of those perspectives. And yeah, I don't think a lot of people do that. But that's just me because I've always had a respect for hip hop and a respect for the art of it. So.
Yeah. That I think that was one of the other questions I had, and we don't have to get into it because we're about to wrap it up. But one of the other questions was just something of when you sit down, it's like, what do I do? Do I just want to talk my shit, or do I really honestly want to fucking talk my shit, but put those double entendres in there and shit? And it's obvious, you know, just of what you spoke on. It's like, no, yeah, I want to speak my shit. I want to get my shit off my chest, but at the same time, I'm gonna make you think because Lil Wayne spits slow. You know, for the most part, he has his fast bars. Like people sleep on him, but he raps slow.
Right.
But still, it's like 3 bars later, I'm like, wait. What the fuck did he just say?
Right.
Set that up real quick.
Right.
And it's a little bit different because, I mean, Tech Nine's the same way. It's like, first, I want to listen to it and just be like, let me catch the cadences, let me catch the flows. And then it's more so of, all right, now let me listen to it and read the lyrics.
Right.
And when I do that, okay, let's cut the music out all the fucking way and just read the lyrics.
Right.
Because I still feel like I forgot some shit or missed some shit, should I say.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you explained it, but I still don't know how the fuck you come up with these fucking double entendres and triple entendres and Mike in the Box. Like, I don't understand it. Like, Michael Buffer, Mike Tyson, who you want to talk about? Oh, you want to talk about Mike Jordan? We're talking about all 3. Let's do a moonwalk on it. I'm sure you can put him in the box somehow, too. Like,
and one thing I was thinking about was Mikey Eats Everything, or Give It to Mikey, He'll Eat It, like the little cereal box kid. I'm like, oh shit, Mikey's.
There you go.
Hey, quadruple entendre.
That's another. I'm gonna expose myself a little bit. That's also why I don't do too many bar breakdowns, because sometimes I'll only think about like 2 or 3, like double or triple, and then somebody else is coming up with new play. I'm like, yep, that's exactly what I meant too. Yeah. It's like, nah.
I definitely didn't think about that, but you could add that in there.
Right.
Hell yeah.
I just I let people. I will say this. Almost every single one of my lines is a bar, but I won't tell you what it is just because I do want to let you find. I want people to come back in 10 years and say, yo, I just got that bar.
Right.
Like, that's what I want. And there are still M bars that I've listened to, and I've listened to all of his songs multiple times that I'm still like,
you still catch them.
This is 20 years ago. Like,
and you caught something new.
And I caught something new. Like, so that's what I want.
And one thing I did like about your bar breakdown, I respect that because, again, I was listening to Wayne a few days ago. I think it was on the Carter 3. I was like, why did I just hear this? I've listened to the Carter 3 probably 20, 30 times. And I just now caught this? Holy shit.
Yeah.
So that's really cool that years later we'd be like, oh shit, did Lex really just say that? Like, is that
right.
Like that? But one thing I liked about the bar breakdown was kind of like when a magician reveals their secret to the trick. Because, like, with you being the way that you did that verse on the cypher and all the different cadences and the different vocal ranges that you did, it almost makes you dizzy to, like, the words. Like, your voice is such an instrument, you don't really always capture, like, the content of the lyrics.
Right.
But then you broke it down, and it's like, hey, this was my sleight of hand. Like, this is how I did this.
Right.
So that was really cool to, like, see the execution of it and be like, damn, like, what all was said there? Let me rewind it 2, 3, 4, 5 times.
Right.
But then you actually broke it down, and you're like, hey, here's my sleight of hand, and here's how I got you to that point of the end of the trick. That was pretty cool.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree 100%. And my last question is, when I'm gonna start off with a statement, I'm gonna end it with a question. So, when I first listen to an album, I don't look at the features. I hate looking at features because I'm like, oh, this person's about to spit. So, if I was listening to the new Ritz album, and I heard a voice that obviously wasn't Ritz. And I'm like, damn, who is that? I feel like I know that voice. Oh, okay, this is who it is. So that's fucking twisted and insane. Okay, I knew that. But then I hear a new voice. I'm like, I've never heard that voice before. Who the fuck is this? I look him up. Oh, it's Doobie. Never heard of Doobie, but I fucks with Doobie. Let me go fucks with his music, see if this
Right.
verse adds up to what he's spitting on his own shit.
Right.
Listening to Interfere, Tech Nine, not looking at the fucking features. And I'm like, okay, damn, I'm fucking with this whole album. And honestly, to be 100% legit, I fucks with almost every Tech Nine album. But I'll say since all 6s and 7s, it's been a while since I fucked with a Tech Nine album. Like,
Right.
fucked with it. But I'm really fucking with this album. And I
Good.
get to like track number 7 or 8. I'm like, damn, I feel like he's in his pocket. I don't know what's been going on in his personal life. I don't know. This album, he is killing it. And then I hear motherfucking Lex Bratcher. How long did you have to hold on to not telling people I am on Tech Nine's new album?
Months. It was so hard. I was so excited. I was so excited to tell people, but I couldn't. So he let me know back when I first met him. He was like, "I want you on my next album."
Right.
But when, like, I hear plenty of artists say that to me all the time. You know what I mean? And so I was like, okay, well, you know, I was like, okay, man, he'll get me on a song. And then, you know, a couple months later, I get his number and we're texting. He's like, yeah, I have a song for you. And then around early January, or I think it was early February, he sent me I think it was February. He sent me the song.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to record it, blah, 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 blah. And I had to wait 2 months before I could let anybody hear it. Like, so I'm in my room and I'm blasting, but they didn't send me the master. I had to hear the master on the actual album.
Right.
They're not allowed to do so. So I'm listening to the one that I mixed myself, and it sounds not that great, but I'm like, well, you know, hopefully they'll mix it better. And I think they mix it so well.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I was like, I can't even show nobody. Like, oh, I'm so hurt. But yeah, it was once it came out, I was so excited. Like, I do forget a lot of the times that, like, I do have a song with Tech Nine, like, and I can't even. I studied this man for years. I studied this man, and the fact that he actually liked me enough to put me on an album is crazy. And so I'm still kind of in shock about it. I think that it'll hit me in a couple years too, but yeah, it was a great time.
I mean, you even say, I don't have the lyrics in front of me, but you even say something along the lines of, I never thought I would have a track with my American Idol.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's...
they be just stuttering high notes. They never thought I collab with my American Idol.
Yeah.
Stutter was on American Idol.
Wait. Oh, shit. I didn't even catch that.
Nobody's going to catch it.
Oh, my gosh. This is stuttering. Ruben stutter. Oh, my God. Because he was one of the most famous ones. He was one of the most famous. That's crazy.
The first or second season, yep.
That's crazy.
Yep. So many bars. You gotta have to figure it out.
Hey, I'm glad you gave us that one. I'm gonna go back and study it, and I'm still probably gonna miss some of them. I'm definitely gonna go back and study it. That's fucking awesome. Lex, It's been a great time talking with you.
Really.
It's been beautiful. You got anything else, Bobby? Because I could go on for another hour or two.
No, man. Just thanks for your time. Congratulations on all your accomplishments.
Thank you.
And always appreciate having you. It's always a pleasure.
Of course.
And I just kind of want to take us out playing Blessed. It's off the EP. Thanks for waiting. That you released back in May. Just want to let people enjoy that, and then we'll go ahead and end recording.
Cool.
Let's get it. Blessed is being queued up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lex made the beat.
Yeah. You see, I'm humble enough to know that I'm blessed, but I'm hungry enough to know that I deserve the best. I ain't move out to LA to meet friends and stay stressed, but to realize my ability outweighs all my distress. Outweighs all of the fears, all the time I would obsess. I remember when I sat there with that pain up in my chest, the pain that I expressed. I'll say this in my death. Oh me, I really wish that you could hear what's up next. If I could go back in time and tell myself to love everything about you, I know you get upset, cause you hate the weight and the curves, all the times you were curved, but it set you up for nothing but success. Because these birds here, they ain't looking for you, Lex. They ain't looking for a home, they just looking for a nest. I know you be in the zone, you get hurt when you get left. Got shot down, but it was just a bullet to the vest. Cause it might have hurt you, it ain't kill you. It made you see all of the things that you can do. It made you take the steps so you could go finally make moves. It made you throw away all the conclusions you had came to. But fuck it, cause love is only a portion of what you were bothered by. Your courage is so dwindled, you could never see eye to eye with yourself in the mirror. You hate your reflection, can't even look at yourself whenever you walk by. And all the times you wanna jump off that high rise, I know it drives you crazy. I know that you don't love yourself, but please don't get too hasty, cause the love that you ain't got right now will come at you insanely when you realize your truth and realize your youth and realize don't see past the view and see past the videos and see past the news and see such a beautiful person trapped in you. So please don't.
Killed it. Killed it. Next on the beat.